about the harms that could follow if women had to carry undesired pregnancies to term. Nor, in later decades, did those in opposing social movements uniformly stress claims about the costs and benefits of abortion. At times, groups instead played up contentions about constitutional rights or religious faith. Some activists, like clinic blockaders, consistently rejected claims about the costs and benefits of abortion. And it is not always easy to draw a clear line between rights-based arguments and claims about the policy consequences of legal abortion. Legal philosophers such as T.M. Scanlon have argued that civil or human rights cannot be justified without reference to their consequences. Those who focus on costs and benefits have incorporated what appear to be trumps, like equality or liberty, into policy-driven calculations. Nevertheless, the distinction between rights and policy-based arguments is conceptually valuable, especially when we seek to understand the modern American abortion conflict. When stressing constitutional rights, those on either side suggested that a particular right was priceless, grounded in the constitutional order, and deserving of protection irrespective of its costs and benefits. Abortion opponents often argued that the right to life protected a fetus or unborn child no matter how a woman came to be pregnant, and regardless of what would happen after a child was born. The idea of a right to choose suggested not only that women should have the liberty to decide for themselves when to have a child, but also that women should get the final say about why a decision is the right one. By contrast, when making arguments about the costs and benefits of abortion, activists on either side primarily discussed not what the Constitution allowed, but whether legal abortion was socially, culturally, personally, and medically desirable or justified. Consequence-based arguments put greater emphasis on the reasons that individuals might choose or oppose abortion rather than on individual liberty from the state. The court did not drive many of the changes studied here. Between 1977 and the present, Supreme Court decisions did shape strategy in important and sometimes unpredictable ways. But many sincerely believed that the costs and benefits of abortion mattered as much as the rights at stake. Even when those on opposing sides made calculated strategic decisions, their arguments are worthy of study. By taking seriously claims about the consequences of abortion, we can gain perspective on how legal and political conversations have changed in the decades since 1973. We can better understand why clashing activists believe that women need, or should not have, a right to end a pregnancy. We can gain a fuller perspective on the state-by-state battles that would begin if the court overturned Roe and the cases following it. And we can recognize that the abortion debate reflects a larger set of often unnoticed social and cultural transformations. How and when did the terms of the abortion debate change, and what has it meant for the larger abortion conflict? As soon as the court handed down its decision in Roe, American pro-lifers championed a constitutional amendment that would ban abortion outright. But when the campaign stalled in the mid-1970s, lawyers working with organizations like the National Right to Life Committee, NRLC, and Americans United for Life, AUL, proposed a temporary solution: incremental restrictions that made abortions harder to get. Lawyers like James Bopp Jr., a conservative Indiana attorney, and Victor Rosenblum, a liberal Jewish law professor from Illinois, worked to draft model laws, statutes intended to serve as a blueprint for other states and cities. These regulations required a different defense than the absolute prohibitions pro-lifers had long defended. After all, many of these statutes, such as abortion funding bans, did not clearly advance a right to life since they did not outlaw a single abortion. Instead, these laws created various obstacles that women had to overcome. Rather than invoking fetal rights, members of AUL and NRLC began justifying these laws by highlighting their supposed benefits for women, parents, taxpayers, and the country. At first, in the late 1970s, despite the objections of some non-white and socialist feminists, the leaders of groups like the National Abortion Rights Action League, NARAL, and the Planned Parenthood Federation of America primarily argued that the new abortion restrictions violated